So let's continue. So we have learned JavaScript functions. Now getting to know a bit deep into functions, the parts of the different parts of the function. So in that we have understood the parameters, the default values of those parameters. You also understood the scope, yeah, in terms of local variables and outer variables. Yeah. Apart from that, we understood what is return. Yeah, what will happen if I don't return? What is the purpose of return? What is the best practice while creating a function to return a value or not to return a value? Naming a function, yeah, so that the I don't have to read the whole code. The method itself will tell me what is this doing. That's all. And another very important thing that we learned at the end, using functions for single purpose, not to come, do multiple things. One atomic use case. Yeah, solve only one thing in the one function. If at all you need for something else, you write another function. Even if it is simple single line, don't worry. Just you know make that, yeah, function do only one thing at a time. So with that, let's move on to. So we also know what is function expression. Yesterday we even compared what is the difference between expression and the normal function declaration syntax. We also know what are callback functions. Okay, today's topic is about arrow functions. A very small chapter, but we will understand the important, or this is one more way of creating functions in JavaScript. This is the third or fourth way: declaration, expression, arrow function, callback functions. Yeah. So let me tell you. So we already know the syntax a bit. Yeah, we already know the syntax a bit. I have told you. So let's say there is a const add. You can assign a function to it. Yeah, and if you assign like this, then it becomes function expression syntax. If you remove this keyword and put an arrow, then this becomes arrow function syntax. And the way we use other function, there is no difference in the way we invoke this function. It is same. So I can call that function. Okay. So we use arrow. This is why it is called arrow function. But first of all, arrow functions are what? They are very simple and concise syntax for creating functions. And they are better than function expression. Yeah, simple and concise way of creating functions in JavaScript. That is arrow functions. Let's see a quick example now. Okay, so we have an example here they have given. Let me also type the same thing. Let sum is equals to, okay, let's do, okay, how we write a normal function sum. Okay, so if it is doing sum, I'll have to accept some numbers, correct? A comma b. If it is add, then what I'll do, I'll write return a plus b. Yesterday I told return is very important. We have to return the value. So this is how I create a normal function. Correct? Now the same thing, if I have to write using arrow function, using a simple and concise way, I can say const sum and then the parenthesis a comma b. Then I can use an arrow and I don't have to even write this curly brackets, the return statement, none of that. The simple implementation is just writing a plus b. You see? Now the entire function, yeah, the simple function is also written in very simple way. Yeah, instead of writing too many lines. Okay, sum is already been declared. So let's name it sum2. See now say sum2 10 comma 20. See the output, you get 30. You see the implementation. Let's say I want to do a multiplication, const multiplication of two numbers. Okay, so I say a comma b. Then multiplication of these two numbers is a star b. And I how to invoke? same way as like normal function. 5 comma 10 is 50. Do you see how simple is this function is? Now for this kind of simple and concise syntax, we mainly prefer arrow functions. Alright, so these are all like syntaxes if at all we have single line. Correct? This is how we can write a single line. Basically, this is almost as equal to what is here, almost as it is. Here in arrow function, we don't have to write a return keyword if it is only one line. And also I have to return the value from it. The thing is, I have to return this value. So there is an implicit return which happens within an arrow function. But let's say I have an arrow function syntax, but there it is not one line. How do I write? Yeah, let's say, you know, some function, yeah, function arrow, and I have some different logic actually to be done. In that case, we can open flower braces, normal function braces, we can open. Here, you want to perform something, yeah, let's say return, yeah, whatever you would like to return. And before this, you would like to do something. So now what I'm showing here is, I'm showing you that if an arrow function involves more than one line, then the previous syntax doesn't work. We have to include parentheses like this. If at all, if there is only one line, then we can shorten it. We can do a simple syntax like just let's say I want to return a string now. I can write simply, a test string. This I can write. Now whenever I call a function arrow, it is going to return me a value. This is simple. But I'm saying the same function syntax, if at all it has, some more logic, and then I do so many things, yeah. Here I'm not going to write it, I'm just giving you an example. At the end you have a return statement, right? You have a return statement now, see, function arrow. Yeah, so in that case we can have open multiple flower braces and put the return keyword within this function. So these are actually arrow functions, and arrow function accepts parameters also. Okay, yeah. So any questions with respect to this arrow functions? And these arrow functions are kind of newest additions, meaning they were introduced part of ECMAScript specification which came in the year 2015, which is ES 2015, are also called as ES6 syntax. So they introduced this syntax in that year only, 2015 onwards. Earlier it was not there. With this, we have understood all the different types of function syntax that we have. Yeah, we have understood all the different types of syntaxes that we have with respect to function creation. Okay, so be it
Yes, sir.
function declaration, expression, and then arrow function. In that, commonly used ones are function declaration and arrow function syntax. Okay, so this is about functions in JavaScript. So with this, so let's move on with other topic. So we have one section here which is called as JavaScript special, I think, which is actually a revision of all these concepts. So far, whatever you have learned, important concepts with respect to JavaScript, this is a summary of all the concepts, variables, yeah, operators, Then we understood strict mode. Just now we understood about arrow functions. So all the things they have summarized. This whole chapter they have summarized here. So I'll leave it to you guys to read. But these concepts what we have learned now, literally we have learned 15 concepts here now. Very, very important. You have to read, practice whatever is given here. Each and every example you have to practice, each and every line you have to read and understand.